But for some reason, something just always seems to get in the way. There's this massive, frustrating gap between who you could be and what you actually get done. So, what is the real culprit here? It's this simple little phrase, just 4 words. This is the master thief we're talking about. It sounds so harmless, right? But it's actually a really dangerous promise we keep making to ourselves, and it completely drains our momentum by tricking us into believing our most precious resource, our time, is infinite. And that phrase, well, it creates the ultimate trap. We tell ourselves, oh, there's always tomorrow. But this habit, this cycle of delay, it doesn't just postpone a task. It quietly, slowly steals the actual hours and days that make up your life, especially now, in a world that is literally designed to distract you at every single turn. Now, here's a really powerful way to think about time. It's not just something that passes by you. No, it's the actual raw material of your future. It's the fabric of your destiny. Every single second is a building block for the life you want, or, the one you'll end up regretting you never built. To really see the true cost of this habit, let's look at a story. It's a bit of a cautionary tale, really, about a man who blamed his failures on absolutely everything, except for the real cause. Okay, so picture this guy. He's constantly complaining about his bad luck, just moaning about it all day. Well, one day, a wise elder hears him and decides to make him an incredible offer. He opens the doors to this massive treasure vault and says, look, take all the gold you can possibly carry. The only catch, you have to be done before sunset because that's when the doors lock, forever. I mean, this was the opportunity of a lifetime. You'd think he'd sprint in there, right? Just start grabbing every last piece of gold he could to secure his future. But that's not what happened. His old, ingrained habits took over, and he made a series of absolutely disastrous choices. First, he decides, you know what? I'm kind of hungry. So he sits down and has this nice, slow, leisurely meal. Then, feeling a little tired, he figures, a short nap couldn't hurt. But of course, he overslept. By the time he wakes up, the sun is blazing hot, so he decides, well, I'll just rest in the shade for a bit longer. See how that works? Each delay seemed so small, so insignificant on its own. And you can guess what happened. By the time he finally realized his mistake and made a mad dash for the vault, it was too late. The sun had already dipped below the horizon, and those heavy doors were sealed shut. His once-in-a-lifetime opportunity was just gone. Not because someone took it from him, but because he gave it away, one lazy minute at a time. So what's the real, powerful takeaway from this story? It's not just about a guy and some treasure, right? It's about a fundamental choice that every single one of us faces every single day. And here is the absolute crucial point. That man would probably spend the rest of his life complaining about his bad luck. But we know the truth. It wasn't fate. It wasn't some external force. It was his own internal habit of procrastination. He literally valued a few moments of comfort over a lifetime of wealth. This is where the true value of time becomes painfully clear, right? We often don't appreciate these tiny little units of time until they're gone and the consequences hit us right in the face. For that traveler, a single minute was everything, the difference between making it and being left behind. And the cost can be even greater. For a student who didn't study, an entire year can feel like one long moment of regret. It just goes to show how all those small delays, all those "I'll study later" moments, can pile up into a massive, life-altering failure. So what does this all boil down to? It's not some big, complex mystery. Our relationship with time, and ultimately our success in life, can be distilled into a very, very simple equation. It's really just a direct cause and effect relationship. If you treat your time like the precious asset it is, it's going to reward you by helping you build the future you want. But if you waste it, well, the outcome is just as certain, a life filled with regret for what could have been. Okay, so understanding all this is one thing, but acting on it, that's what really matters. Which leads us to the most important question of all. With this knowledge, what do we do about it? Starting right now, today. The plan is actually pretty straightforward. First, you've got to eliminate "I'll do it later" from your vocabulary. Just banish it. Every time you say it, you are actively choosing to let your dream slip away. Second, treat your time like money. Every single morning, you wake up with 86,400 seconds. Invest them wisely, in your work, with your family, on your dreams. Don't let them get stolen by mindless distraction.
And third, you have to burn this into your mind. You can never, ever get time back. Every moment spent is gone for good.
So I'll just leave you with this one final thought. Unlike money, unlike possessions, time is the one resource that is completely non-renewable. The clock is always, always ticking. So the question is, are you using your time to build your dreams, or are you letting that thief of dreams steal them away?
That being wise means having everyone nod along and approve of our choices. But what if that's all wrong? What if real wisdom is having the guts to follow your own path, especially when everyone else thinks you're headed in the wrong direction?
And this gets us to a really key idea. The difference between performing intelligence for an audience, looking smart, and actually possessing a quiet, deep wisdom that guides you from the inside.
Now this is where it gets interesting. Look at this contrast. On one side, you've got loud success. It's hungry for applause. It needs that instant validation to feel real. But on the other side, you have quiet wisdom. It's patient. It's focused on the long haul. And honestly, it couldn't care less if anyone else gets the strategy.
To really bring this idea to life, there's this old parable that just nails it. It's a story about a king, a young boy, and a daily choice that made an entire kingdom absolutely convinced that this kid was a complete fool.
So, let's get into the puzzle at the very heart of our story. It's this daily ritual that was both a test and a massive opportunity in disguise.
Okay, so picture this. Every single day, a king offers a young boy a choice, and he does it right in front of a big crowd. In one hand, he's got a valuable gold coin. In the other, a silver coin, worth way less. And every day, like clockwork, the boy reaches out and chooses the silver. And the crowd? They just roar with laughter.
And this wasn't just a one-time thing. It went on day after day after day. At first, it was just some light laughter. But pretty soon, that laughter turned into open mockery. Before long, the boy's daily choice became the running joke of the entire kingdom. Look, it's the foolish boy who can't even tell gold from silver.
So you have to ask yourself, right? What was really going on here? Was this boy truly a fool? Or did he understand something that the entire kingdom, including the king himself, was completely missing?
It got so bad that even his own father couldn't stand it anymore. He pulled his son aside one day, totally worried, and asked him, "Son, you know the gold is worth more. Why are you doing this? Why are you letting yourself become a public joke?"
But here's the twist. The boy wasn't playing the game everyone thought he was playing. He wasn't playing which coin is worth more today. No, he was playing a much, much bigger and smarter game.
And in response to his dad's question, the boy didn't offer some clever comeback or a long explanation. Instead, he just quietly led him to his room. He had something to show him, not just tell him.
He walked over to a box, opened the lid, and inside was the answer. It was overflowing, with hundreds and hundreds of silver coins. A small fortune, built one foolish choice at a time. And then he just lays out his brilliant, simple strategy. He looks at his father and says, "The day I choose the gold coin, the game ends. The king will know I'm not a fool, the test will be over, and the daily coins will stop coming." He was choosing a steady stream of silver over one single piece of gold.
You see, what the boy understood, maybe without even having a name for it, is this incredibly powerful principle. That a small, consistent gain is often way better than a big, one-time reward that shuts the whole opportunity down. He was willing to sacrifice the appearance of being smart for the reality of becoming wealthy.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? This story isn't just a clever trick, right? It's really a whole philosophy for how we can navigate our own lives and our own ambitions.
This story just perfectly shows the difference between people who talk a big game and people who do great things. Some people, they're all about boasting, about needing to prove they're right and everyone else is wrong. But the truly wise, they're quietly making strategic moves that benefit them in the long run. They don't need an audience. So it kind of gives us this clear playbook. Step 1, be absolutely certain of your own path and your strategy. Step 2, and this is the hard part, let others misunderstand you. Just accept it. Their laughter, their criticism, it's just noise. Don't get distracted. And finally, step 3, be patient, focus on what you're doing, and just let your results do all the talk.
And that's really the bottom line, isn't it? If you are on the right path, if you're building something real, all those opinions and all that laughter will eventually just fade away. What will be left are your results, your achievements, and they will speak for themselves with a voice much, much louder than any criticism ever could.
So, I'll leave you with this one final question to think about. What's the silver coin game in your life? Where are you making that small, consistent, maybe even misunderstood choice that's slowly, quietly building toward a much bigger, long-term victory?